Hello and welcome. I'm Blair Blackwell, and this is the Daily Market Brief. Let's catch up on what's moving in markets today. Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 10th, and this is your London Open. Markets are in a holding pattern ahead of the Federal Reserve and Bank of Canada decisions later today, while mixed signals from China and a steadier yen set the early tone. It's Fed Day, and expectations point to a quarter-point rate cut with a firmer message on the path ahead. The focus is squarely on the new projections and the so-called dot plot, plus Chair Powell's press conference, to gauge how many more cuts officials still see next year. In the background, the dollar is treading water in several pairs as traders wait for clarity, with gold holding firm and risk sentiment contained for now. China is back in the conversation. Consumer inflation hit a near two-year high, but producer prices fell more than forecast, and economists warn inflationary pressures could persist into next year without fresh stimulus. That uneven mix has weighed on China-sensitive trades this morning, softening the Australian dollar against the yen, even as the Aussie holds its recent gains versus the US dollar on a still hawkish tilt from the Reserve Bank of Australia. In Japan, stronger corporate goods prices have reinforced bets that the Bank of Japan is inching toward another hike, helping the yen recover modestly into the event risk day. Geopolitics is not far away. Oil has been struggling as markets weigh the possibility of movement on a Ukraine peace plan, with Kyiv expected to respond today, while a report says a U.S.-Indonesia trade deal is at risk over market access frictions. In Europe, politics hums in the background with a race for the Eurogroup presidency and ongoing debates over decarbonizing heavy industry. But market impact is secondary this morning. Turning to markets and sectors, currencies are quiet but telling. Sterling is a touch firmer against the dollar as traders lean into the Fed outcome. The euro is steady just below recent highs, and dollar franc is flat as investors wait for the U.S. decision. The yen holds modest gains, while the Indian rupee is a little stronger, with dollar rupee edging lower into the Fed. The Australian dollar consolidates its run versus the greenback, but the cross with the yen is softer on China's data. In commodities, gold is consolidating above 4,200. India's local prices have eased, and silver briefly popped to a record overnight before slipping back. Oil is marginally firmer, but headlines around Ukraine could swing the tape. Looking ahead, Europe's calendar is light. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey and European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde speak this morning. Then attention shifts to Ottawa and Washington for the Bank of Canada and the Fed. The BOC is expected to hold rates and signal the easing cycle is done after stronger Canadian data. The Fed's projections will drive the reaction, especially any gap between markets and policymakers on cuts next year. What I'll be watching today, the dollar-yen pair for a potential downtrend if BOJ tightening bets firm and the Fed leans dovish on its path. Sterling versus the dollar for an uptrend extension if the Fed's tone underwhelms hawks. And dollar Canada for a downside break if the BOC sounds less dovish than feared. I'll also keep an eye on Aussie yen for further softness on China's deflation pulse, gold for a post-Fed breakout from its range, and crude for any reaction to Ukraine headlines. The takeaway? Markets are calm but cautious, waiting on central banks to set the tone while China's mixed data and geopolitics add cross-currents. That's it for today's edition of the Daily Market Brief. Thanks for listening. I'm Blair Blackwell. This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice, trading recommendations, or investment guidance.